Hi, my name is Ambie Abaño, a visual artist, printmaker, and associate professor at the UP College of Fine Arts. In today's episode of Cultural Cash Online, I will be talking about my work in the Cultural Center of the Philippines' 21st Century Art Museum collection titled True North. I remember quite distinctly working on this print. It's a multicolor, multi-plate woodcut which I created for 25 at 45, a print portfolio project produced by the CCP in collaboration with the Philippine Association of Printmakers to celebrate the CCP's 45th anniversary in 2014. This is a self-portrait. I have been making portraits for quite a long time now. There is just so much a portrait tells. Portraits for me are external reflections that give us cues of the internal state, say, emotions, thoughts, responses, and conditions in a person. In my case, it all started with self-portraits. I guess it was a natural response to my inquiry about the self. First, it had to do with a question about identity, about one's subjectivity. But later, as I worked more and more, the query evolved into existential questions of what is it to be a being. In seeking and probing, I was led to deeper inquiries, and this brought me to the awareness of the vastness and expansiveness of being, of one's relation to the entire whole, and the quest for oneness. In this work, a middle-aged woman with her eyes closed is in a meditative stance. In the background, the vastness of the cosmos where a particularly bright star shines. The woman is seeking for guidance. The star symbolizes a guiding light, like the North Star. Here, it is aligned with her temple, representing the mind, the heart-mind, the seat of wisdom. Somehow, I sense that somewhere deep in ourselves lies the true north, by which we can navigate our deepest value, our deepest knowing, the sense of our true being. But we have to take a pause, to be in silence, to take a step back from the noise and the chaos of the external world in the overload of our thoughts, which paradoxically we are a part of, and which itself is part of the whole. Could looking within bring us to seeing beyond? Perhaps it's not all that simple, but the initial step of seeking is trustworthy. Interestingly, when I work, it is like saying yes to the invitation to take a reflective pause, to look within, or simply be within. The creative process for me in itself is a meditative pause, a sacred moment. It is a quiet consciousness where some deeper force leads you. It is a profound moment where you allow yourself to be led deeper into a beautiful state. Portraits are a recurring image in my body of works. It is not so much as to represent particulars or impose meaning to specifics, but rather as an inquiry about the essential in a human being, about the true nature of a human person. True North is part of my still ongoing and evolving process of such inquiry. The work was done in woodcut, a technique in printmaking that I have been exploring for the past 30 years. First, the image is drawn on a wooden plank. The background and the non-printing areas are cut away with various sizes of carving tools, leaving the drawn parts in relief. Ink is then applied with a handheld roller called a brayer. Paper is then laid on top of it Then, it is hand-printed by rubbing the backside with a wooden spoon to transfer the image onto paper. The principle is similar to stamping. The processes in woodcut can go from simple to more complex ones, which can yield simple to very complex imagery. The one I employed for this work is the multi-plate, multicolor technique, which involves several well-planned images on 3 separate pieces of wood blocks, which were then printed in layers on the same paper to create the color enhancement we see here. The woodcut technique is very versatile. As a printing technique, I just love everything about it. From the smell of the wood, to its natural grains that merge with the image, to the sound and the rhythm of the cutting strokes, the sound and the rhythm while inking, the seemingly limitless possibilities in terms of scale, the versatility of printing on alternative grounds, and so much more. And particularly in terms of visual quality in the print it yields, the simplicity, the directness, and immediacy in the image. As a printmaker, I love the unique visual qualities inherent in the technique, the endless possibilities that can be explored, the element of surprise for every single print pulled, and the humbling experience in the process where you don't have absolute control. I love how each exploration leads you to yet another idea. It is a continuing journey that somehow not only allows me to co-create, but also informs me and teaches me about life itself. It is so beautiful at times when you recognize the metaphor of the creative process to life's journey. Thank you for joining me in this episode of Cultural Cash Online.